all makes sense now. That corpse didn't teleport here after all.
Of course it didn't, though the culprit obviously wanted it to seem that way.
Half of a body just suddenly appearing out of nowhere. Just like the Philadelphia experiment. Someone went through all that trouble to make it look like something strange occurred.
I think they also wanted to draw as much attention as possible to that sign. All so they could spread that QR video.
About the reason the corpse's cross-section was facing downward.
That body fell from the studio ceiling. If it fell sideways when it landed, the culprit's plans would have been ruined.
Yes, like you said, it would have been pointless unless the sign was standing erect. Just like a man's you-know-what.
Hammer, Jesus.
Again with that joke?
Echt mal.
Besides, it is not useless when it's not erect.
Exactly.
What?
There was another purpose to the sign. It's the same reason darts and rockets have tails.
I get it. The cut surface would naturally face the ground because of that sign. It was meant to control the body's posture as it fell.
About the time rigor mortis would subside.
The culprit must have wanted the body to fall during the live stream, right? It would have been pointless otherwise. But could they really predict when rigor mortis would dissipate so accurately?
The culprit didn't put the corpse up on the ceiling beams while it was completely stiff. It had to have been after the body had started to soften, just slightly. That way, they could estimate that the body would fall in a few hours or so. The stream was scheduled for a whole 6 hours. The culprit was fine as long as the body fell sometime during that period.
Why did the culprit blow up the corpse?
Their goal was to make it seem like a supernatural phenomenon. That's why they couldn't leave the CNT on the scene.
Because it would give away the trick?
Right.
So that's why they caused a thermite reaction and destroyed the CNT.
CNT is highly flammable carbon material. It doesn't stand a chance against 3000 degree temperature.
To wrap it all up.
Moment. But it bonds with oxygen to create carbon dioxide, which helps extinguish the flame.
The culprit's motive was to make this seem like a supernatural phenomenon and to spread the QR video, right?
I don't know if that's all there is to it, but probably.
I don't know if that's all there is to it, but probably.
I wonder why Jin was chosen.
Who knows?
Where could his left side be?
Dann würde ich verkündigen. Where could his left side be? Tja, warten mal 6 Jahre.
It hasn't been found yet. Anyway, starting our search with the people who might have the intel we need is the #1 rule of investigation, right?
Ja, aber wer soll das denn jetzt noch sein?
Like who?
Jin's right half was up in the studio ceiling the
Ach
whole
so.
time we were shooting the show. There must be someone who knew about it, or at least noticed it.
Hier fliegt gerade ein Marienkäfer rum.
You mean the director?
Right.
Shinpei Wagai.
Where is he now?
I've tracked him down using his smartphone GPS.
Wie legal ist das eigentlich, dass sie das einfach kann?
He's in Akihabara right now, at the maid cafe Sunfish Pocket.
Sind jetzt alle anderen eigentlich auch auf Toilette gegangen? Maid Cafe, Sunfish Pocket. February 11th, Monday, 23:30. Raid Pampers. Da ist er
There
ja.
he is. Ah, shit.
Oh, Pizza. Was denn für Pizza? Dude, what the fuck?
Damn.
Ey, Pizza mit Ananas ist geil. Auch wenn alle Leute immer so tun, als ob das Schlimmste der Welt wäre. Okay. The fuck, jetzt fliegt ja auch noch eine Motte auf meinem Bildschirm rum. Ist jetzt hier Insektenparty? Jetzt fehlt ja nur noch Gonta. Was? Danganronpa 3. Wie wär's mit einer vollgegisten Pizza? Ich nenne sie Jizz-Piss. Oh Gott. Wie wär's mit... Nein. Das ist die neue... Jizz sagen, genau. Oder Jizz-Piss. Deins ist es nicht, deswegen soll niemand Freude daran haben, genau. Ich finde es halt nur immer so albern, dass die Leute immer so tun, als wäre das absolute Blasphemie. Dabei gibt es genug Gerichte, die salzig und süß gleichzeitig sind. Ist ja nicht so, als wäre das irgendwas, was du in keiner anderen Küche mit keinem anderen Gericht anstellen kannst. Ich mag es jedenfalls. Auch kein Problem damit, wenn es jemand nicht mag, aber immer diese Anstellerei ist ein bisschen nervig geworden. Außerdem, ja, Ryuki hat durchaus recht. Are you insane? Wir kommen hier rein und er ballert einfach auf uns.
There are customers and staff in here.
Das auch noch.
My bad.
An apology is not gonna cut it.
Stell dir mal vor, du ballerst in so einem Laden rum und dann sagst du, my bad, und die Polizei lässt dich da gehen oder was?
Several people have called the authorities.
Ja. I wonder why.
The local police should be here soon.
Hey, can't you just let me go?
What?
Told you, my girl's pregnant, right? I can't go to jail! That's why I accepted his offer in the first place. I needed money to take care of my kid.
Accepted whose offer?
Some guy named Chikara. I don't know his real name. Haven't seen his face or heard his voice either.
Terra.
All my contact with him was through Nile.
Nile.
What did he ask you to do?
He said,
I want to borrow your studio for an hour or so on the 10th, before you start preparing for the stream. Do not let anyone near the studio during this time, that includes you. All you need to do is keep the entrance unlocked, that's all. I'll pay you 5 million. If everything goes well, I'll pay you on the night of the 11th. Das ist doch jetzt.
so me and the staff haven't met this terror guy at all. I don't know what happened in the studio either. I had no idea that was gonna happen.
Come to Class 3A at Sekiba High. You'll get your money there.
Class 3A at Sekiba High.
Ryuki!
Yeah, let's go.
Tja, gehen jetzt einfach wieder hin. Statt Jinpei. Sekiba High, February 11th, 23:55. Die sind doch alle weg. Der Laden gerade war leer. Oh,
The director of Horodori Institute of Genetics.
so much for his plan of immortality.
Chikara Horodori.
Und schon wieder ist es nur die Hälfte.
No way. It can't be.
Halbschlaf. 12. Februar. Nothing to be done.
Mr. Date told me about this shrine. This place is so full of nature. Just like Yoyagi Park. It's just calming here.
Oh Mann. Noch was, bitte?
I see.
Tama, would you mind giving me some support?
What do you mean?
I've been thinking about Chikara's murder.
Are you sure you're okay, Ryuki?
What do you mean?
I feel like all of this has been taking a huge mental toll on you.
I'm fine. More importantly, can you recreate the crime scene for me? I just need to close my eyes, right?
Yeah, but... Fine. I'll play along. You are technically my master. I can't disobey your orders.
Thanks. Let's start then. It's perfect. It's just like the real thing.
I learned how to do 3D modeling in a correspondence course. Back when I was a student, my grandma told me I should learn a skill set.
Are you an AI? Warum denn ausgerechnet Nubierin? Oh, achso, ich kann mich umgucken. the window. It's a blackboard. There's nothing particularly suspicious about it except the fucking body on it.
Chikara's right side. The cross-section is stuck right onto the blackboard.
What's the estimated time of death?
Based on the time the body was discovered, that would make it about 4 hours ago.
So, around 8 p.m. on February 11th, right around the time we were meeting with Tokiko.
I'm sorry, Ryuki. This might freak you out, but there's something I have to tell you. Will you hear me out?
What?
The thing is, this corpse is so cowardly that it has no guts!
What?
I know. That was so bad. The joke was over before I even said it. But I just had to do it. I mean, look, the corpse is completely missing its guts. I couldn't let this chance pass me by.
Ich würde sich, glaube ich, mit Andes Komödie verstehen. The reason the corpse is on the blackboard...
Looks like there aren't any other clues here.
Moment. The reason the corpse is on the blackboard is because it doesn't have internal organs anymore. The open space inside the body has a lower pressure than the outside. It's similar to how suction cups work. Das heißt, der ausgehöhlte halbe Chikara wurde so wie so ein Saugnapf auf die Tafel Irgendwie ist das voll ekelig.
Well, satisfied?
What about the security cameras at S? Oder sollte Ad heißen? At Sekiba High.
I checked the footage, but I didn't see anyone suspicious.
Except you, Ryuki.
Of course, that place is huge, so there are plenty of areas the security cameras don't cover.
Any cameras on campus?
None. Do you remember what Gen said? The security at Sekiba High is completely lacking.
Ich habe das vage Gefühl, du hast deine Englischlehrerin nicht ganz gemocht. Is Tara the culprit?
That's my assumption. I can't think of any other suspects.
Just who is this terror?
I wouldn't be having so much trouble if I knew that.
It can't be Tokiko, can it? Tokiko was with me at Chikara's time of death, and she was in Okinawa during the incident with Jin.
Yeah, at the very least, it seems unlikely that she did it personally.
Ich befürchte fast, es gibt Schulen, auf die das zutrifft.
But something has been
Gerade
bothering
geschrieben hast.
me.
Something has been bothering
I
me.
feel like Tokiko is involved somehow. Chikara was a member of NICE, and he knew about Bats 490. That's not all. The appearance of Jin's corpse was made to seem like a paranormal phenomenon, as if the same thing from the Philadelphia experiment had happened.
After all, we are living in nothing but a simulation.
Man würde ja schon sie profitieren.
A false world created by a program.
Could she have done all this to give her claim credibility?
Damals in der... Ey, in was für einem Laden ich einmal gelandet bin in Akihabara, sage ich jetzt lieber nicht. Ich wusste auch nicht, ich bin in Akihabara halt einfach... Wir sind einfach überall reingegangen, ne? Alles sah interessant aus, du bist einfach überall reingegangen. Da bin ich irgendwann in einem Laden gelandet. Bin ich sehr schnell wieder rausgegangen. Kann ich später mal schreiben.
I don't know, but it's possible.
About the Nile message Tara sent Shinpei.
I think he was lying about the money.
Yeah, you don't say.
Terror probably wanted someone to find Chikara's body.
You mean he wanted Chimpei to find it?
Not necessarily. It might have been for the police. Terror might have predicted that someone from the police would contact Chimpei.
Ich meine, es kommt doch selber hinaus, wenn jemand anders den Körper gefunden hätte, die Leiche, hätte die Person wahrscheinlich auch schnell
In any case,
Polizei
let's go
gerufen.
see Tokiko. I have to talk to her.
Understood. We've come this far. I'll back you up until you're satisfied.
Wir müssen jetzt so dagegen.
I've been expecting you. I thought you would be arriving soon.
Was, bist du jetzt schuld oder was?
What do you mean?
I mean, I knew you would come see me.
But why the sunglasses?
These aren't sunglasses. It's a fairy's black bra.
Jetzt kann ich nicht, wenn man das einmal, ich meine, jetzt sieht's irgendwie, ich sehe das jetzt. Wie kommt man überhaupt auf so eine bekloppte Idee? Meine Fresse. Jetzt sehe ich, seitdem der das gesagt hat.
What a degenerate.
Nein, what a genius idea.
As you know, this is the president's office at the NICE Japan branch.
The world is full of rubbish. Such things should all be washed away. That was my thinking when I designed this room.
Oh, okay.
You designed it.
Yes, the flow of water cleanses one's heart, just like the flow of time.
Tokiko könnte man noch übersetzen als Kind der Zeit. Weiß ich nicht, ob das Absicht war, aber fiel mir gerade so ein. Anything suspicious about Tokiko?
Not really. She's a kind woman. But I obviously wouldn't tell you even if I did know something. As her secretary, it's part of my job to protect her secrets.
Mamoru is an excellent employee who faithfully fulfills his duties. I have complete trust in him.
I'm honored to hear that. I respect you from the bottom of my heart as well.
Isn't that nice?
Gag.
Okay, Tama findet es aber nicht nice.
The symbol of NICE, the non-Yupal X. There are 4 unseen X's hidden within.
4 unseen axes hidden within. Kann man das nochmal hier irgendwie genauer sehen? Wird zufällig ein Eintrag dazu? Ne, schade. Aber wir haben einen Eintrag zu Popo. Team Popo. Nickname for police officers is meant to be somewhat derogatory. Four unseen axes.
They represent the truth of the world you live in. That is yet another meaning inside the non-Yupal X.
Jin's right half didn't teleport.
I've solved the mystery, Miss Shigure. Jin's right half didn't teleport. It was just made to seem that way. It should have been obvious when you think about it. Teleportation? It's impossible. We live in a simulation? This is a fake world created by a program? Impossible. Simulation theory is nothing but occult nonsense. Just a ludicrous myth like UFOs, ghosts, and Kappa. I'm sure there are people who'd like to believe in these things. And there are groups who profit by making people believe.
Mr. Ryuki, it appears as though there's been some misunderstanding. We of NICE have nothing to do with this.
Are you sure about that? All the pieces would fit together if NICE is the one that made the QR video. The falsified paranormal phenomenon. What was written on the signboard. It all advances your agenda. Could it be that you wanted to spread the QR video by showing that sign along with the corpse on stream?
As I've told you, we are not the ones who made the QR video. What is the purpose of the QR video in the first place? Are you saying there is some message urging people to join NICE in it?
Do you know someone named Jinpei Wagai?
No, I don't.
Then do you know about terror?
I've heard that name on the news, yes. This is about the culprit, is it not?
Yes, but...
I have absolutely no idea who it could be. I'm sorry I can't help you, but...
About Chikara's murder.
I know of the incident, of course. However...
Yes, I know you have an alibi. We were here, having a conversation during the time of Chikara Horadori's death. But that doesn't necessarily mean you're completely innocent. You are the president of NICE. Surely you have plenty of subordinates who can do your bidding.
Are you implying I ordered someone to kill him?
It's a possibility.
And what would be my motive?
Well...
Remember what Tokiko said. Chikara Horadori is an avid believer in the Order of Percent. Their order and NICE are heading in completely different directions.
Perhaps NICE and the Order of Percent are hostile.
I see. You're suggesting there was a conflict between organizations. It is true that NICE and the Order of Percent have differing beliefs. However, we are not at odds with one another. Both organizations believe in the simulation theory. In that respect, we are comrades.
What do NICE and the Order of Percent believe in?
We are living in a simulation. A false world.
Oh, da könnte man jetzt die 4 versteckten Xe sehen. Wenn man sie sehen kann.
And from this false world, we seek emancipation. That is what Nyes believes. On the other hand, the Order of Percent, we are living in a simulation, a false world. But they wish to remain imprisoned within it forever.
Forever?
Mr. Ryuki, have you ever played an open-world game where you play as a criminal?
A game that lets you rob, murder, blow things up, leave a trail of debris wherever you go. An absurd, heinous game where you can freely commit all sorts of horrible crimes.
I've never played anything like that, but I know what you mean.
Then you can understand. If this is a false world created by someone, then the Order of Percent believe they can do whatever they wish.
So wie wir in Dying Light 2, als wir vor dem Bazar einfach jeden abgeschnetzelt haben. Wie war das noch mit den Leuten, die irgendwie alle am Schreien und am Brennen waren?
To them, this place
Das
is
war
a true
lustig.
utopia. A dream world where they're allowed to do anything they want with no real consequences.
That's why they want to live here forever?
Exactly.
I get it. That's why Chikara was researching immortality.
In theory, using Purge, even immortality is achievable. The ultimate dream that humanity has been yearning for thousands of years. It will soon become a reality. What do you think? Isn't that wonderful?
Das ist mir auch aufgefallen in seinem Somnium. Ich habe da mal drauf der sagt sogar an einer Stelle irgendwas von wegen in this fictional world we can do anything. Da habe ich damals gedacht, er meinte Somnium, aber ich nehme mal an, das hat er deswegen gesagt. About Chikara's research on immortality.
I am aware that Chikara was very particular about immortality.
Tja,
However, I will say one thing.
it's too late now.
One must not believe in eternal youth. Eternal youth is a lie. By the way, Mr. Ryuki, do you remember what you said earlier? Simulation theory is nothing but occult nonsense. That is clearly false. The simulation theory is not occult. It falls within the realm of science.
Das ist tatsächlich, wie ich darüber mal gelesen habe. Ich hatte mal irgendeinen wissenschaftlichen Artikel dazu gelesen, der sich auf ernsthafte Weise damit auseinandergesetzt hat, wie verschiedene Fragen der Physik und so weiter, die sich immer noch nicht erklären lassen, sich darüber dann irgendwie erklären ließen und halt nicht einfach mit der Begründung, weil in der Simulation kannst du dann sagen, das ist halt so, sondern der Artikel hat dann wirklich auf detailgenaue Weise erklärt, wie bestimmte Sachen in einer Simulation wahrscheinlich aussehen würden und dass das irgendwie den Mustern entspricht, die man noch nicht versteht, die sich dadurch, das war ziemlich kompliziert. Was jetzt auch nicht heißt, dass ich in die Simulationstheorie daran glaube, aber es war trotzdem eine sehr interessante Lektüre. Aber ich nehme mal an, dass sie darauf auch gerade hinaus will.
In fact, many esteemed scientists have given serious thought to the matter.
Ne, ich meine jetzt nicht wissenschaftlich, also es ist schon wirklich von richtigen angesehenen Leuten.
The theory was originally proposed by a Swedish philosopher. However, the concept has been around since long ago, even as far back as the days of Plato and Zhuangzi. This world may be an illusion. At least, there is no way to prove it isn't an illusion. There are great people throughout history who have held such ideas.
But there's no way to prove it is an illusion either, is there?
No, there is plenty of science to support it. The holographic principle, theory of relativity. The measurement problem in quantum theory can also be considered proof.
Ja, diese ganzen Dinge hat dieser Artikel da auch aufgelistet, den ich gelesen habe. Ich habe zwar fast nichts verstanden, aber ja. The holographic principle?
Even light cannot escape a black hole. I'm sure you've heard this before.
Das, was sie jetzt gleich anspricht, habe ich auch schon mal in anderen Kontexten gelesen. Es gab auch ein ganz abgefahrenes Video zu, das es noch viel genauer erklärt.
Information is the same. It cannot escape a black hole. It's known that the amount of information trapped in this way is not derived from the volume of the black hole, but the surface area. Considering this, you can conclude that information in a three-dimensional space is stored in the boundary of its two-dimensional surface. In other words, all information stored in this universe is encoded in a single flat plane, just like a hologram. Regarding gravity and other physical processes, they can be completely accounted for through the laws of physics defined by the boundary surface. Let's take a character from an action game, for example. When that character falls, you may think he was pulled to the ground by gravity. However, gravity does not actually exist in the game world, only code that was written in the program. The character's body is merely made to show as if it fell based on its code.
You think this world is the same?
The holographic principle is not a theory. It is a principle. It has already been mathematically proven.
The Swedish philosophers claim.
I'd like to ask you one thing. Beings that are far more intelligent and advanced than we humans. Do you believe a civilization of such beings exists anywhere in this world? And by this world, I mean all possible worlds in the entire universe, including those outside of our own.
Also das zu dem schwarzen Loch mit, das muss ich nachher nochmal suchen und dir schicken. Da gibt es ja tatsächlich interessante Videos dazu, die jetzt auch nichts mit der Simulationstheorie zu tun haben, aber doch mit dieser holographischen Sache. Ganz abgefahrener Kram. Gucken, ob ich das nochmal wiederfinden kann. Aber ja, die klingt schon ein bisschen verrückt.
Well, somewhere out there, probably.
I agree. Taking that into consideration, we're left with 3 possibilities. 1. Civilization hasn't reached a level of technology advanced enough to create a simulation that can't be distinguished from reality. 2. Civilization has reached a level of technology advanced enough to accomplish this, but it hasn't for some reason. 3. Civilization has reached that level of technology and has no strong reason not to use it. Which of these do you think is... Therefore, they've proceeded with creating an intricate simulation. It's likely.
Are you saying it's 3?
That is what a famous Swedish philosopher believed, at least. He further explains, that civilization must have run simulations millions or even trillions of times. In which case, it would make sense to believe our world would be included in one of those simulations.
You're saying it's far more likely that we're one of the countless simulated worlds, rather than a world that exists in the one and only reality. Do I have that right?
Yes.
Additionally, the simulation in the real world may be a simulation itself, kind of like a Matryoshka doll. Just so you know, I'm not saying I believe the simulation theory. The simulation theory isn't too credible because of this Matryoshka aspect. The processing speed problem.
Say this world really is a simulation. Then that would mean a computer or something that's running the simulation exists somewhere, right? But it doesn't seem realistic that everything that happens in the universe could be derived by calculation.
Yes, you are right. However, there is no need to calculate every phenomenon, only what observers see and experience. Take the measurement problem in quantum theory. It explains the inexplicable phenomenon observed in the double-slit experiment.
Das double-slit experiment 9.
Quantum matter appears as particles when observed, and as waves when not observed. For the latter, its position cannot be specified because it exists as a stochastic wave. Therefore, it must be calculated and processed as the entire wave, and is impossible to reduce. The faster an object moves, or as the effects of gravity increase along with the increase in mass, time progresses slower, as I'm sure you know.
And that's related to processing speed?
Yes. When the load during calculation is increased, a phenomenon akin to a processing failure occurs. That is why nothing can exceed the speed of light.
Interessanter Gedanke.
The calculation wouldn't be able to catch up if acceleration is infinite.
Let me explain the double-slit experiment. We shoot a ray of light toward a board with 2 slits with a screen behind it. This causes the rays to be distorted, to look like stripes. This is because the light has the property of a wave. Then what would happen if we shot light molecules at one at a time? The light molecules will show up as a dot on the screen. By continuously doing this, the stripes reappear. Why is this? The light molecules are only being shot one by one, so the board shouldn't have an effect. The next part of this experiment was done using a detection device to see which slit the molecule went through. This caused the stripes to disappear, and only 2 lines appeared on the screen. Isn't that interesting? When it's not being observed, they appear as waves, but as soon as you try to observe it, they appear as lines. This is the gist of the detection problem in molecular theory. I'm getting
I
sleepy.
see. Then let us leave it at that. In any case, there is no denying that the simulation theory is true.
In your opinion.
But unlike Chikara, I have no interest in the concept of immortality, because my objective is to tear at the seams of this world and emancipate us all.
So you mean dying?
No. Death and emancipation are completely different. I have no desire to commit suicide, though I would be fine with dying at any time.
Because this world isn't real.
There is that, yes. However, there is another reason. If I wish to do so, I can resurrect myself. We are living in a false world created by a program. Therefore, if we can rewrite its code, we can create miracles, like reincarnation, or even bringing someone who has already passed back to life.
Man guckt die jetzt normal.
Has this woman lost it?
Das fällt dir jetzt erst ein. Jetzt macht's ja mal wieder das Zeichen.
Ryuki, you were right. There's clearly a lot of reasons to be suspicious of Tokiko.
Yeah. Let's check with Wingsync.
Das hat doch letztes Mal so toll geklappt.
I saw everything. If you don't do as I say, I'm sure you know where this is going.
What is this?
Looks like Tokiko is blackmailing someone.
What is it she saw?
I don't know. This is as far as we can get through Wingsync.
Then...
Yes, let's get a deeper look into her mind, using a regular sync.
Uh-oh. Mit ihr? Also Bier habe ich.
Ryuki, just to confirm, you did get permission, right?
No.
Yes, she accompanied me voluntarily and...
No, I meant from boss.
I haven't seen Boss. She wasn't in the control room.
It's fine. I'll be sure to talk to her later.
I don't think this is a good idea. Besides, you don't look so good, Ryuki.
I'm fine. So please, I need more leads to solve this case.
But you... Oh, fine, I'll help you for now, but I won't be held responsible. Deal? Look, Ryuki, please just don't cause any problems. You can only stay in Somnium for 6 minutes. I absolutely need you to follow this rule.
Yes, understood.
Okay then, let's begin.
Das habe ich beim ersten Mal verkackt. Aber das konnte man dann ganz schnell nochmal machen. Relativ schnell. Gucken, ob ich es beim ersten Mal hinkriege. Man muss irgendwie ganz am Schluss ganz viel Zeit übrig haben.
I wonder if this is the Nye's president's room. It's really white, though.
Let's make an acronym poem with the letters for nice.
Where the hell is this coming from?
N.
Okay. N. Not that I know why.
A.
A. Angry.
I.
Incoming?
X.
Shingu River Ray.
Not that I know why. Angry incoming Shingu River Ray.
Very poetic.
Shingu River Ray. Such a kind animal.
Except when it's incoming and angry.
Angered by humans polluting waterways, I guess.
Somnium scan, activate!
Ja. Stare into Tokiko's abyss. It seems like Tokiko was threatening someone. By peeking into her mind's abyss, you might discover something.
This is such a quiet place. So empty and blank.
Maybe that's Tokiko's mental state. Pretty eccentric. Hopefully we can find something here.
Looks like we can only interact with that ripped up book.
Right. Let's investigate.
A book of nice teachings. Why is it ripped in half?
Does it say anything?
Yeah, just one phrase. The intersection between the warp and weft. The rest is ripped off.
I remember Tokiko saying something like that.
The intersection between the warp and weft, that's where the seam can occur. Right?
I wonder what she meant by that.
Who knows? Why don't you join NICE to find out?
No.
Anyway, that's about all that we can get from this book.
All of into and the are to Ich werde jetzt mal nicht versuchen, die ganzen Keys hier zu kriegen, weil sonst, glaube ich, die Zeit nicht reicht. Also bei anderen Somniums habe ich auch nichts dagegen, mal ein paar Sachen auszuprobieren, aber ich glaube, bei dem hier werde ich mal gucken, dass ich es möglichst direkt richtig mache.
When did this get here? This wasn't here earlier.
What does it say?
That's where the seam can occur. Combining it with the book from earlier, the intersection between the warp and weft, that's where the seam can occur.
That's exactly what Tokiko said. If it's coming out in her somnium, it must hold some significance.
Oop.
That's just what we saw in the wink sink.
Das Somnium von ihr ist voll creepy. Aber ich verstehe es sogar jetzt. Sind ein paar Sachen drin, die habe ich nicht verstanden. Worauf die anspielen sollen. Oh. What the? Wie das war again.
I can't really make out what happened, though. I did see Gen, I think.
It was just really chaotic.
Maybe the key to solving this somnium has to do with what we found in the NICE book.
The intersection between the warp and weft, that's where the seam can occur. That will help us? I don't know about that. I don't see how that will help us right now.
Im nächsten Raum ist dann dieses Meat Organ. Die Orgel.
I don't think it's completely unrelated, but...
The next suspicious thing is...
Do you see anything?
Not really. It seems a lot deeper. It was pretty shallow earlier.
Let's dive in.
What? Dive? Here?
Yeah. Where else would I be talking about?
But it's really deep. And Red, what if there's an angry Shingu River Ray in there?
Nicht wieder der dumme Single River Ray.
Enough with the complaining. You don't even need to breathe. It'll be fine. Go for it.
Fine. Why do you always gain this weird confidence during syncs?